Hello, I'm DeDe, and in this session, we're going to do 30 minutes of yoga that call for a greater stability and muscular endurance demand through our core. So everything except our head, arms, and legs is going to be active and recruited in many of the poses that we do. We're also going to use our arms and legs, of course, but we're going to focus on our core. Here's what you'll need. If you're on a hard surface like I am, have a yoga mat turned the same direction that mine is. You'll need also a folded towel for some extra padding and as a little bit of elevation when we're sitting. Have some water to sip on periodically. You won't need your shoes or your socks, and you'll need plenty of space around you. Make sure you only do things as you deem appropriate for you. You can skip something or take one of my modifications if you need it. So we're going to start seated. So come down any way that works for you. And then I encourage you to sit on the edge of your folded towel if that makes it more comfortable for you to sit on the floor. So you're sitting right at the edge of your folded towel, and that way your pelvis tilts forward, and that allows you to sit up straighter and taller with more comfort and less effort, which is always nice. So we'll sit, get your legs organized. Your feet can be further away from you or closer to you, depending on how it feels through your hips and your knees and your ankles. And then we'll sit straighter, taller, and we'll let the arms come to rest somewhere on the legs. Now close your eyes, and we're just going to do a few moments of deep breathing here through the nose. So start to have an awareness of where the breath expands your body as you inhale. And also notice what happens as you exhale. What shrinks back down? What comes back to a smaller size? Maybe your ribs, maybe your low back, maybe your abdomen. So some days it's easier than others to hold still on command, but the more we practice being still and quiet and mindful, the easier it becomes to find it and to hold on to it. So if you're having a day where it's harder to do this, be compassionate, be understanding, be patient. Now see if you can increase the circumference of your ribs even more with your inhalations. And then as you exhale, just relax and let the air leave your body through your nose. All right, now let's open the eyes. If they're closed, just let them blink open a little bit. And then if you're sitting with your legs folded like this, you can reverse it. By the way, anything that we ever do sitting on the floor, you can do sitting in a chair or sitting on the couch. Just make sure once we come out of our sitting position that you then come down and join us on your yoga mat or on the floor. So if you're sitting with your legs folded, we reverse the legs. Hands on your legs. Let's do some torso circles. So you're going to keep the back long and straight, and you'll orbit the shoulders all around the pelvis. And just feel how that feels. Keeping your neck long so your head stays lined up with the rest of your spine. And feel the muscles that are switching on and switching off in your core. So start to rely on your arms a little bit less and your core muscles more. Now let's go the other direction. So besides the core muscles switching on and off, you may also notice that you feel some stretch in your hips, your legs, maybe some contraction through your arms, shifting the weight from one hip to the other hip, but keeping the hips down. And one more time around. And then we'll come back to the center and we'll take the arms out to the sides. Reach them out as you inhale, and then bring your hands together in front of your heart as you exhale. Let's repeat that. Sometimes when we breathe more deeply, we then breathe more slowly. And there can even be a pause between the inhales and the exhales. So try not to force your inhales or exhales. Let there be a pause if your body wants there to be a pause. Now we inhale, exhale, turn, look over your right shoulder, and then we'll switch. Reach out, open your chest. Turn your spine along its axis. So try not to overly round or overly arch. Try not to lean forward or backward. Let's go one more time to each side. Feel your waist muscles helping you to twist. And now we'll stretch some of those muscles this way. So inhale, arms out, lean over to the right for the exhale. And then switch. Reach your arms out longer if that feels comfortable. Otherwise, keep your arms bent. Hopefully you're starting to feel a little bit warmer, a little bit calmer, a little bit more connected, your mind and your body and your breath. Now the last one. And then we take our hands on our legs. So inhale right up to the center and exhale, hinge forward from your hips. Keep your back long and straight. Inhale, exhale, shoulders away from ears. And do it again. Now, if you're sitting on the floor like I am, the leg that's crossed in front, you may feel some stretch in that hip. And then we'll come up, just pause here, keep breathing, switch your legs, and let's do 4 more. So sit up tall, inhale, hands on your legs, exhale, hinge forward, and 3 more. One more like this, and then we're making the transition onto hands and knees. So let's do that now. Turn, so we're sideways to one another, and then feel free to place your folded towel underneath your knees. Let's pause for just a moment here. Let's be up on our fists, and then we'll circle around through one wrist, wiggling the fingers and the thumbs, circling both directions, and then switch. Now, while you're here, you're pushing the floor away with your fist and your knees. Feel that action in your body. Now, you can be on both fists, or you can be flat down on your palms. Let's inhale and lift the tailbone up, and then exhale, tuck the tailbone under, and feel that through your low back. Do you feel that? Try to keep your upper back stationary and move from your waist down. 2 more. Still pushing the floor away with your arms and your knees. Last one. All right, and then we'll come back to neutral. Tuck your toes under. So take a moment to get your toes tucked way under. Now inhale, and on the exhale, drop your elbows down. Not too much toe stretch now. Don't sit back too far. And then inhale, rise back up. And then we'll do it again. Exhale, elbows come down just in front of your knees. And 2 more. And then we come up and we untuck the toes and we sit back into child's pose. So this version is a little easier. This version is a little bit more challenging. And this version is quite a bit more challenging because it's such a deep fold for our knees and our hips. See which one works best for you. And then stay there and breathe. Have your big toes together. You can have your knees apart. You can have them wide apart, slightly apart, or you can have them together. Do what feels best for your lower body. All right, then we're rising back up onto fists and knees or palms and knees. It's up to you. Now we're really going to call into action stability and balance. Watch for just a moment before you do this. We're going to push the ground away with our knees and our hands, and then we're going to hover one hand off of the mat. So join me here. One hand off the mat, hover here and breathe. And then come on down. Push with both arms and then hover the other hand. So we're not changing the rest of the body too much here. And then come down with both hands. You can be on your fists still. Push the ground away. Now hover one knee. So that means your core really has to grip and stabilize. And then your knee comes down and we lift the other knee. It's hovering. Everything else is still neutral and straight through your back and your neck. And then let's bring everything down. Now let's try to do opposing hand and knee. If you're comfortable doing it, do your right hand and your left knee. Breathing, stabilizing, balancing. And then come down gently. Get back to center with your balance. And then we'll do the other hand and the other knee. And then we come down. How did you do? Let's take the hands one hand's length further forward. So now the wrists are not directly under the shoulders. The wrists are forward of the shoulders. Now we'll reach the right hand forward and the left toes back, but notice how they're still touching the ground. And then come back in. And then reach opposing other side. And then come back in. Let's do it again. Slide right along the floor. Make sure you're still pushing the ground away. And then switch. Now, if you're okay to try it, instead of sliding along the floor, lift everything up. So in this scenario, your thumb is up and your foot is flexed. And then we'll come down. Make sure you're pushing away with your remaining knee and hand. Reach out. Keep your fingers and toes on the ground if you need to, like we did a moment ago. We have two more. Feel all the stability and balance that needs to be happening as you do this. And then we'll come down, and then we'll move into thread the needle. So your hands are a little bit forward of your shoulders right now. Let's take them quite a bit further forward, and we'll sit back into the best child's pose you can do, considering your arms are stretched way out. Now let's do this together. Inhale, come up, and on the exhale, take your right arm and reach it through. It doesn't matter if you're turning toward me or away from me. And then inhale, bring your hand back out in front. Exhale, sit back into child's pose. Now this time the left arm is in motion. So inhale, come up, and then exhale, reach your left arm through. Try to get the back of your hand, elbow, and shoulder down if possible. Inhale back to center. Exhale, sit back. And we'll do it again. Inhale, come up. Right hand reaches through on the exhale, bow forward and down and twist. And then inhale back to center. Exhale, sit back. And we have one more. Hi, Prissy. And then we'll sit back and we'll stay back. So you do whichever version of child's pose feels good to you. It doesn't have to be this long, extended arm version, but it can be. Make sure that you're breathing into your side ribs and your back ribs while you're here, because we're compressing the abdomen. So you have to take the breath into the different parts of your torso. All right, let's extend the arms fully forward now. I want you to watch one. So come up to here, but watch me. So we'll inhale, and then we'll exhale and bend the elbows toward the feet. Inhale, push up. Exhale, sit back about halfway. And then we'll do it again. Inhale, drop into a straight line. Join me now. Exhale, bend, keep everything in a straight line. Inhale, push back up. Exhale, push back to about halfway. And then we'll do it again. So shoulders away from ears, strengthening the arms and the core with this one. One more. All right, and then we're halfway back. Now we tuck the toes under. Inhale, and as you exhale, lift your knees a few inches off of the floor. And then lightly touch them down again. Inhale, exhale, lift them up again. Do it a couple more times. So the action in your arms is pushing. That's why it's nice to have a yoga mat that doesn't slip. So you can really push without fear of your hands sliding. All right, now this time we're pushing all the way up and back into downward facing dog. And then we'll take a moment to alternate pressing one heel at a time toward the floor. All right, so we're sideways to one another. Let's press both heels down. Take your foot that's furthest from me and step it forward, and then take your same side hand behind the foot and step it all the way forward. And then we'll walk hand over hand around toward one another. You won't need your folded towel for now, so you can move that out of the way. Turn your toes out. Take one hand, the other hand onto your thighs, and take your time with this now. Slowly hinge up. Turn your knees out to match your toes, and then inhale, sweep up. Exhale, sit back, hands on your legs, drop your shoulder down. And then we'll do that again. Turn the other way this time. One more time each way. As you bend your knees, push them outward so they align with your ankles. One more. All right, we're coming back to center. Now we're going to turn to the right, and we'll be in a kneeling lunge. So we'll come down. If you need your padding underneath your knee for this, just slide it right back underneath. Let's be on our fist here, and we'll turn our backs to one another. So inhale, and then exhale with a long spine. Twist so your back is to me, and raise your arm, and then do it again. Remember, you can always look at the first one that we do just to get an idea if you're not sure. Feel free to do that. We have two more. Exhale as you twist. And one more time. And then we'll take the hands down. Now we tuck the back foot under, we lift, and we walk hand over hand all the way around. So we're facing the other way. Now make sure your feet are on a railroad track and not on a tightrope. Drop your knee down, be on your fist here, straighten your spine. Inhale, exhale, and twist. Two more. Keep your top arm bent at the elbow if that feels better. Otherwise, straighten it out. All right, let's tuck the back foot under, lift the back knee, walk hand over hand around, turn your toes out, take your hands on your thighs, and slowly hinge up. Make sure you're not lightheaded. Straighten out your knees, keep your balance here. And then we'll take the arms up into a V. Keep looking forward. Or if it's not too much for your balance, start to look up. Reach out away from your center. Looking down is okay too. Find a good focal point that works for you. And then let's release the arms, and we'll slowly bring the feet in, any way you like. And then we'll come into mountain pose. Feet under your hip joints, tall and straight. Let's take the hands together in front of the heart. Stay there. You can turn sideways if you want. You don't need to though. We're going to do warrior 3 next, so I'm going to turn sideways just so you have a better view of it. Now we go from hands in front of the heart to hands on the hips. Shoulders relaxed, soften your knees. Take your right foot back and then tip over to 45 degrees or beyond, but don't make it too challenging. Make sure you have something to steady yourself, like a wall or a countertop or a sturdy chair if you need it. And then we tip back up. And we switch sides. Could you feel how much your core was involved in that? I sure could. Take your other foot back now, soften your standing leg, and tip forward. Now, when holding onto your hips, make sure they're not tilting. Keep them level. Continue to breathe. And then we'll tip back up, keep your balance. And then we'll switch legs. This time we'll bring the hands back in front of the heart. This is a little more challenging for the core. Right foot back and begin to tip. Keep your hips level. And then we'll tip back up. Are your shoulders relaxed away from your ears? Left foot back, tip forward. Now try not to lead with your head going first. Everything moves as one complete unit from your heel all the way through the crown of your head. And then we tip back up. And we come back to our mountain pose. This time, arms at your sides. And then we're coming back down to our seated position where we began. So come down any way that works for you. And then I encourage you, as we did earlier, to sit on your folded towel if that feels better. Otherwise, just sit with your legs folded, or that other option to sit in a chair. Neutral spine, inhale, exhale, twist, and we're going to stay here now. Use your arms, but also use your core muscles to help you twist. Think about turning your chest. Try not to turn your head too far if it creates tension in your neck. Back off of your head turn a little bit and turn your chest a little bit more to maximize the twist. It's not easy to breathe deeply when you're twisting. Do your best. And then release that and inhale. Let's go around to the other side, still sitting up tall. Exhale, stay here. inhale back to center. And on the exhale, relax your arms and change your legs if you're sitting like I am. And then inhale, exhale over, and we'll stay here, bent top arm or straighter. Relax your supporting arm so it's not like a kickstand like this. Relax it. And then we'll come up, inhale, and exhale over to this side. And then inhale up and exhale. We're going to reach behind our back and lace our fingers, or get as close as you can to lacing your fingers, and then draw your shoulder blades in toward your spine and see if you can straighten your arms out. Breathe into your chest. Try not to let your shoulders ride up. Keep them pressing down. Prissy, are you assisting me back there? I have an assistant. All right, and then release that. So, I hope you enjoyed recruiting more core muscle, more core strength and stability, as well as utilizing our arms and legs and balance. So as usual, thanks for joining us, and until next time, be well.